This ain't no joke, this ain't no game. This that CSZ game. They said pull up, so I came. You better put some respect on their name. Yeah, 55 was goody. Kill the vibe, how could he? Big Cardinal on the hoodie. Let me break it down for you fully. This ain't your average broadcast. This ain't just no podcast. I'm on the show, spread fake news. We ain't starting a podcast. West Joey, Sam, Shawn, Dalton. And you know that boy hit you. We say him on small fry. Tell them they better make him bang. Yeah, you already know what we be on.
You got Jordan. Here he goes. This place is gone.
If we said it instead of this song, shouldn't have seen you set up your phone. You in the Cardinal Sports Zone.
Straight steal of home. The slide. The Cards win.
The magic is working tonight. How do you know when things are...
The emotional journey to the championship.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to you, coming to you live. So I always mess that part up. From the Rally House Studios, this is the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wallman, here with my Friday night crew. First off, he is, and I'm just going to get this out of the way because it just needs to be done. He is the big little brother, Joe Wallman.
Acknowledge me.
I wish I would stop doing that. I love you,
Jolo.
No, you're not Jolo. You're not Jolo.
Joman Reigns.
No. Closest is Joe Anawai.
Who's Joe?
Who's Joe? Across the table from him, he is the women's basketball beat writer, the football beat writer, and resident peg expert. It's our guy, Sam Baisden. Sam, what's good?
You picked that one.
I hit that one right in the hole. Sam, back from your hometown. How was your trip? How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. It was good to be back home. It was nice and warm. Got to see a lot of friends and family. But I did not expect to come back to what's going to be a blizzard of 2025.
Listen,
You want to drive? On ice.
I drove tonight. I drove over here tonight.
Oh, okay. And I just meant like what you said, the storm.
I hope everybody, first, I forgot to say this, hope everybody had a happy and safe new year. Last but not least, he is the Grady to our, well, I won't say the other word.
Well, no, that's a name.
Yes, but I'm not going to say that name. He is the abominable no man. And tomorrow we take on his second favorite team, the Virginia Cavaliers. It's Shawn Barber. Shawn.
That's going. No woman reigns.
Oh man.
Oh.
Where's the Sirius XS show at?
We need to get that cracking.
Speaking of that, we don't need that. We just don't have any sponsors, and we do a regular podcast.
And then they'll come to us.
Then.
No, because then we'll end up like some shows, some podcasts out there that are sponsored by Manscaped, Blue Chew, Straight Up, stuff like that. Let's get to the chat line really quickly. Louisville Cardinal says, let's go. Andrew Mudd says, let's get it.
I'll be 47. I might need a little help here before too long.
Jesus Christ. Louisville Cardinal says, go Cards, baby. The meat master, Garrett Hoover in the building. Our guy. Happy birthday, belated birthday to Wes Keys. He turned 58 yesterday. I'm just kidding. Tuning in from work. This is the norm for him. What's up, crew?
What are you doing?
Aaron says, what's up, CSZ gang? Corey Carson says, what up, 55 and CSZ family? What up, PG1? Welcome to the Ville. Antron says it's Tiffy time. It definitely was Tiff time.
Prettiest moonsault ever. She's perfect.
D Wall says, what's going on, Card fam? We appreciate everybody coming and checking us out tonight. Garrett is marking himself safe from apocalyptic grocery shopping. Let it snow. Shawn's marking himself safe from venereal disease.
And from other things.
Corey says Tiff waited a long time for that cash in. Yeah, we're going to the Rumble too, so that should be a good time, Corey. We'll see you there. C. Miles says Tyron Stokes is next. Oh, Jason says, I guess he's acknowledging you. Y'all need
Oh.
to stop doing that.
No, keep it coming.
Zach says, go Cards. I haven't been this excited for Cardinal Athletics in years. Justin McCord says, what's good? Wes says, not 58, LMAO and Jolo. Gosh dang it, it's the thing. Mark says, go Cards. Look, we got a packed show to get to. So we're gonna hop into it. Don't forget the Mossy Oak chat line is open. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or however, send us your questions on social media. Check the graphic to see how you can follow the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast on social media and how to help support monetarily. We've got the YouTube subscriptions now. We got the gifts. Help us out so we can get new and better equipment such as the CSZ 5000, which you see right there in front of Joey and Sam. We'll be going to them for breakdowns of important plays, tweets, and stuff of that nature, YouTube videos, whatever.
Fix that.
Oh,
I got it.
Gotcha.
So,
Thanks. Hit that thumbs up while you're here on YouTube. Make sure you are watching on YouTube if you can. It'll help us out more. And because the show is so packed, we're not going to do our normal commercial break. So shout out to Fitness Market, Four Pegs, Collision Course Crew, Cherry Pick and Shoot 360, Mossy Oak, Planet Fitness, and Rally House. Let's check out the chat. Justin back to okay. Oh, Tom Jeffries, TJ, he aka the Box Hustler, says Shawn will explain that to you later. Says what's happening, fellas. JB says don't forget your milk and bread sandwiches. Tony Bowman says what's up, and L1C4 says go Cards. Guys, we announced last week we were going to our normal Sunday time frame. Now we won't have a show this Sunday because we're going live tonight. But so much happened this week. We felt like we needed to pay extra attention to the events of this week. I would say both good and bad, but quite frankly, it was a great week to be a Cardinal. We're going to start off with the bowl game talk. The Cards were favored by 1 at kickoff. They won by 1. I said last week we needed to stop big plays, contain the quarterback, and force him to pass over run, which for the most part ended up being the keys to us winning the game. Also, the stout defense, Antonio Watts, playmaker, won 35-34. Harrison Bailey, 164 yards passing, pretty efficient. He was taking a beating in the group chat before the game, and I tried to tell people he was going to show out. 3 touchdowns. He did hop into the portal today, so he will not be competing for the Miller Moss starting job. We did say that we were going to get over 200 yards rushing on the ground, 207. We had Brown with 99, Watson with 83. Lacey had 1 catch, 1 receiving and 1 rushing touchdown. Bell 6 catches for 60 yards. Sam, we'll go to you first. Overall takeaways and thoughts of the football game.
First, I want to say I was impressed by the coaching staff for them to be able to not only put together an efficient game plan with the, I guess, lack of players and the ever-changing door of the transfer portal. Because I know it's kind of tough. You over there, you're trying to game plan and scheme for certain things, and then all of a sudden you don't have this player available and things like that. So kudos to the coaching staff for 1. 2, shout outs to the players, the ones that stayed and the ones that fought. They said it multiple times, and Coach Brom did it during the season. They wanted to finish, and I think that's what they did. Well, not I think, I know that they did this game. So third thing I want to say is I am excited to see what a full year of Chris Bell and Colin Lacey has to offer when it comes in the passing game, along with the 2-headed monster of Watson and Brown in the backfield. Regardless of who the quarterback is, you start off with 4 legit playmakers already. So I was really excited about that and what I saw. And then, of course, on the defensive side of the ball, we'll see what needs to be done in the transfer portal. But we do have, I think, Antonio Watts should have 1 more year left, and Stanquan Clark, we know, should hopefully be back too. Those are good starting pieces, blocks right there in terms of your linebackers. So I was impressed with the defense, even though it's probably going to look a whole lot different come August. So yeah.
Absolutely. Joey, what about you?
Carter Schwartz.
Oh, the punter.
Who?
The
Carter Schwartz made a Schwartz be with you for 3 more years.
the punter.
Hey,
Let's address
Like-
that really
two,
quickly.
2 kicks in the 5 or something like that.
no, he was good, man.
I know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
he's down like 2 in the 5.
Yeah, he so the prior, and we're not gonna throw any shade
No,
or
I really wasn't.
no,
I was just saying, like,
didn't say you. Yeah, I didn't say you did. We're not throwing any shade on the former punter. We appreciate his time here, but Schwartz with a higher average than the prior punter had all season.
54-yard punt, long.
54-yard punt long, and then the prior guy, and I'm just not saying his name because I don't want anybody to say, "Oh, this is." No, I'm not talking about him. Had 0 inside the 20 this season, and Schwartz had 2 inside the 5.
3 inside the 22.
And 3 inside the 20. So, yeah, I mean, look no more than the stats. Only reason I was fooling with the cameras because Sam was talking and I looked up and he wasn't in the shot anymore. I don't know what happened. So that's why I was fooling with the camera a second ago. Joey, so other than Carter Schwartz, any takeaways from the game?
I mean, the running attack still, like, honestly, next year, like Sam said, if hopefully a full year of Colin Lacey, Chris Bell, you still got Kariski back, so you got a proven tight end.
Yeah.
Chris Hughes, I think, will he be back? I mean, he's had some big catches this year. I can't remember. I don't know what grade
I
level
think he
he is.
should be back.
And honestly, we got Miller Moss coming in, so you got somebody that can wing the ball around there. But man, just keep running the ball, like they have. And they fought. I mean, like you said, especially on defense, we had a lot of.
Yeah, he's a redshirt freshman.
With Gelati, opting out, Quincy opting out. You had your 2 best defensive guys not there, so you had to have guys step up, and they did. And they fought. They played like the game meant something to them. They coached like the game meant something to them. What we say, 19-8 first 2 years for Brom, and I mean this year you lost 4 games by a total of 24 points.
And all the ranked teams.
Yeah, 2 college football playoff teams,
Which our basketball teams only lost to ranked teams as well, correct?
Yeah. With men and women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all when we lose to good teams.
All we do is win, unless it's a ranked team.
No, we beat some.
I know.
Yeah, but like I said, 2 losses by 14 points to CFP teams. We beat a CFP team. So all in all, pretty successful year.
You done with CFP?
Yeah, you know me.
Not
all my homies.
Right. Well, I think next year we'll be down with the CFP.
I sure
for
hope.
Sure.
Oh,
Sean, we've
SFP.
been hoping for a while, but
2025 is his year, bro.
It's 2025 or die. I think we're gonna have to just cut it off.
This is a Squid Games for you, buddy. The ball drops. If the ball goes to drop at the end of this year, just know that's a countdown for that's it. Lights out. It's over.
The game started out reminiscent of the Sugar Bowl. It was
did.
exciting. Even though it was close at the end, it never really felt close. Only time I got nervous was when they scored at the very end, and they were going to go for 2. I mean, if we went to overtime, there would have been no nerves at all. I caught myself. And then just that last drive where they called the pass interference, that wasn't a pass interference. It was pretty bad. Shawn, did you have any takeaways from the game that we haven't mentioned yet?
The offense is going to be just really good, but the defense are going to have to retool the defensive backfield, I think. But
defensive line as well.
Yeah, defensive line. But the defensive backfield, the only thing I didn't like is you still saw some of the same mistakes we saw early in the year.
Well, it was
That was it. That was the only thing. Other than that, it was just Washington played a great game. A lot of it was Washington played a great
Wide
game.
open. Those first 2 touchdowns that guy got
Yeah.
at least were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
they played man. Some people played man, and the others played zone, and they kind of pass it off to nobody.
Yeah.
But that happens when you have players like they said. We had a 4th string cornerback in there,
Yeah.
had not been playing. So and then you were missing. The young man that got hurt on the touchdown pass. So and then you had players that didn't play a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That had to play a lot. That's kind of what baffled me. And I know I've gone off on the wrong thing. When we had a lot of players, especially the defensive players that were leaving, entering the transfer portal, like a lot of the players that are ahead of you are seniors and graduating. You're a freshman or a sophomore. Why are you leaving? Next year should be your best chance at starting, but with NIL and I guess going close to home, I have no idea. I just thought this would probably be the year.
There were several that
kind of like it was kind of
really?
like really
yeah.
Oh, you mean are we talking about like Ben Perry and
no, I meant okay, Green. I think he decided to go into the transfer portal.
Adonijah?
And then, and then Aaron Williams,
the
cornerback. Like I get it, you didn't play a lot, but the guys that were ahead of you.
We lost 2 people to UCLA. Who was the other one? Ben Perry and who?
Was it?
I want to say it was Aaron Williams, but I'm not sure about that.
No, I'm not sure about it. Is another defender though.
Yeah. Well, we had another guy in the secondary that we lost that was like a head scratcher that you're like, really? They probably were going to play this year. Tony Bowman wants to know, is 2025 the year of the card? I don't know. This has been the week of the card, starting off pretty strong. Tyrann Stokes is next, says Louisville Cardinals, to which Aaron says Stokes will cost a pretty penny. I agree with that. Garrett says, don't be jumping on our bandwagon since your Hurricanes lost, Sam. Followed by Aaron Walker, who wants to know, was Sam mad Miami lost their bowl game?
Oh, yeah, they lost. Yeah.
Louisville Cardinals say,
no, we talked about it the last time. Yeah, I remember.
Katarius Hicks was good in the passing game, and we returned a few good old linemen. Absolutely. Renee Conga and Jordan Gerard come back if they don't transfer.
Jordan Gerard went into the portal today, I believe.
He did go into the portal.
He did. Okay. Louisville Cardinals says Green is not in the portal. Okay. Aaron Williams did go to UCLA with Ben Perry.
Okay.
So, Louisville Cardinals says Ramon Mosby, true freshman, played majority of the game. He was good. He did a good job for sure, filling in a spot where he didn't really expect to be at. So that's always good when you get one of the younger players in and let them shine a little bit. Let's move on momentarily to men's basketball on the January 1st edition of Life. The Louisville Cardinals took down the North Carolina Tar Heels 83-70. I don't know a lot of people that expected a win, let alone a dominant win. Chucky led all scores with 26 points, including 16 from 20 from the free throw line. He also led in assists with 7. Rain added 4 3-point baskets as well, as the Cards had 4 double-digit scorers. Rain with 17 points, Hadley with 10.7 boards, Scott with 11 and 8. Waterman broke his Jeremy percentage streak, but had he taken another shot, he was probably going to hit that. So the 1 out of 4 average would have stuck. We don't know. Instead of going 1 out of, because the next shot hit, that's 2 out of 8. That's still 1 out of 4. That's still 25%, which is what we expect out of him. So we like him to get all his bricks out of the way early. Things that have been good, our rebounding in general has been good. Our defense has been good. The only thing that I have had an issue with, and I'll let you all chime in as well, prior to the UNC game, is when we got up by double digits, and we did this I think we did this a little bit at the beginning of the North Carolina game, but instead of going up double digits and building on that lead by driving to the hole, continuing to get, because we've also been really good at getting teams in foul trouble. The problem is, once we get them in foul trouble, we start shooting threes and we don't cash in on the foul trouble. But that's something we saw a little bit different, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Though the James Scott slander on Twitter, stop it. He's a legitimate double-double every time. Just because he doesn't take people down to the basket, back them down, which we all want that type of player, right? Like, I'm not saying that he is the 5-star All-American, but what I will say is every time they throw it up to him, he finishes at the rim.
Lob it up.
Just lob you for all I care. 11 points, 8 boards, doing a fantastic job. Now, he's got some years to improve. So this is first year major college, James Scott, right? And he still has, does he have 3 or 2 years? Well, no telling. By the time the NCAA, they were I read today that they were thinking about passing a rule to where they were giving everybody 5 years and then red shirts. So, I don't know what they would call the extra year, unless
Before you had 6 to play 4, right?
Right now you're going to have 8 to play 5. So you may have your first ever 20th year transfer. I don't know, but
You're gonna be collecting a pension.
absolutely.
College football.
But the one thing that stuck out to me, I'm going to go first on this one. One thing that stuck out to me is adjustments. You could see where the adjustments had been made in the EKU game. As we were heading down the stretch, we continued to shoot the threes that we didn't need to take, right, Shawn? We continued to run and gun. This game, we didn't do that. We attacked the rim. We shot free throws. We did what we should have done. So you could tell that last 5 minutes could have went the way it did versus EKU, but we changed things up. And Coach will probably tell you, too. He's learning things, too, coaching at a different level. I like seeing the adjustments. Again, the only difference between the last 5 minutes of the last 2 games, the close one against EKU and the blowout, I felt like it was a blowout against North Carolina, was that we kept our composure. We drove to the basket. We had guys in foul trouble. We lived at the line, and we started hitting our free throw. That game could have been a 20-point game had we hit our free throws in the first half. It was ridiculous. Guys, before we tackle, and I don't do this a whole lot, so this is going to be new for me, admitting that I was wrong from last week. But Shawn, your thoughts from the game, the things you liked, things that you still think we need to work on.
Well, you mentioned James Scott not being the back to the basket player, right? Did you notice that they made an adjustment? They made Javon Hadley that player.
Yes.
They were posting him up constantly, and he would either make a move or he would dish to Scott for the dunk.
Yep.
I think you're going to see a lot more of that because he's 6'6", and he kind of plays like a undersized power forward. I think that's a major adjustment that was made I like, and I think you'll see more of it. And hopefully, the other thing I liked was James Scott defensively in that game. At the end of the game, he just took over. He was blocking shots, grabbing big rebounds. That's what you need from him. Be the shot blocker and a rebounder, and offensively, just dunk the ball. And I just like those 2 things really stuck out to me from that game.
Really quickly, I do want to say hi to Moms Kelly. She is in the building. Thank you for because obviously, now Louisville's over for them, and we'll go on to the NFL chapter and stuff. But the city was lucky to have somebody as good as they were to the city and to the fans and stuff. There's always going to be idiots, right? And a lot of the time you tend to, going back to football for just a second, the stupidest ones are the loudest, right? They say. So even if it's only, which is stuff I had to tell Nolan all the time because he'd see 4 or 5 gas bags going at him on Twitter. But then in my DMs, I'd have 300-400 people that are like, man, tell Nolan how much we love him, that we can't. So on a similar front, like Moms Kelly and Quincy have been so good to our university. And I imagine they will be in the future, always repping the Cards, so we appreciate that. Just to catch up on the chat line a little bit too, Anthony says, I don't know if Green officially entered the portal, but he played some in the bowl game.
Did.
Louisville Cardinals is saying Jordan didn't enter the portal. Where did you see that at?
Jordan
Garrod.
He entered the day.
Okay. Well, that's Zachary Cottrell says Madden Sanker tweeted and said he can vouch for the punter's claim. I don't believe them. I'm not going to say that I don't believe them. What I will say is that some of the players did get production NIL. And if you're not playing, you're not going to get production. You're not going to get paid. I do know that that's all I'm going to say about it, because the NIL stuff, I don't need. I have a very good relationship with the 502 Circle. I wouldn't want to say something that was incorrect anyway, but I do know some of them had performance-based NIL, and if you look at the performance, it just was not there. Aaron Walker says we have to drive to the rim more when shots aren't falling simply. Yeah, and that's what we did against North Carolina in the last 10 minutes of the game. Garrett Hoover said, what is up with our team's free throws? It doesn't matter the coach. We are horrible. Missed 17. We did miss 17, but what you're missing that's most important is Chucky went 16 for 20. So he probably hit the majority. Mike Murphy in the building. Murph dog. And then Garrett Hoover, Chucky was clutch at the end, though, with the 3 free throws. All right, so back to the Shawn, did you finish your point?
Yes.
Okay, good. Joey, what about you?
You should have just said, Shawn, did you finish?
I already knew the answer to that, though.
I mean, quite honestly, I slept for most of the game.
Okay.
I fell asleep.
Die hard fan?
I usually will roll over to take a short power nap during halftime, and I didn't wake up till there was 2 minutes left.
Honestly, when you fell asleep, we started playing better.
Anything for
so
the team.
Thank you.
Anything.
Thank you.
I've stood outside in the 5-degree weather for 30 minutes before.
That's true.
I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. So I will digress on what I thought about this game, because first half they looked good. They looked better than obviously they had the previous game, and then obviously in the second half that I missed, they played even better. So well done.
Sam, what about you?
I'd say one of the things, I'll piggyback off of you about the adjustments, and I'll take it even a step, a game or two further. I felt like when we were up, I want to say 10-11 at Duke. I mean, against Duke at home in that first half, we could have slowed it down a few. I understand that you want to play a fast pace, you want to get up and down, spread the floor, things like that, but we were still working with a short bench. And he continued to play the up and down, fast paced style, and it created more possessions and allowed Duke to get back into that game. I feel like if we had slowed it down and at the end of that first half and at least take a 10-point lead, we probably could have put more pressure on Duke and maybe coming away with a win against Duke. But against North Carolina, you can see that he, like you said, he made the adjustment in terms of his depth. Like, hey, I want to play this style, but right now I don't have the bodies to continue to play this for 40 minutes and get the best out of my players. So I really appreciate the fact that he realized what he did, or someone realized what was going on, and they did make the adjustment. So that I was happy to see that. And then when it comes to the team as on the defensive end, they made the adjustments in game. They made some at halftime, and then they also made them as the plays were going on, which, not to throw any shade, but you didn't really see a lot of that in the last regime. So that was one thing that I was excited to see too. So that kind of helps me be more excited for the rest of the season and from here on out in terms of Coach Kelsey's tenure at Louisville.
One thing I will say is that, I know Traore got some minutes this past game. And I think as the season progresses, the more minutes he gets, the more productive he gets, the better we'll be.
Yeah, he actually was his second game back.
And I think he got I think it said he had 9 minutes in this past game. I don't think he played, but maybe 3 or 4 the
against EKU.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Probably just kind of went, trying to ease him back.
He did get a few minutes at EKU. Yeah, it was,
and that'll help. Going back to what you guys were saying, when we do want to play faster we've got another body
Yeah.
to bring off the bench to keep the legs fresh.
Absolutely. So I just checked, and we were 3.5 point favorites tomorrow at Virginia at 4:00 on the ACC network. It's moved up to 4.5 now. I can only imagine the cluster fudge that's going on there is attributing to the fact that I don't know when the last time we were favored at Virginia. But let's get to and also really quick, during this game at the under 8 timeout, something very special happened, very unique. The commitment of the second highest rated player in Louisville basketball history, sandwiched between Samardo Samuels, who was number 1, and Sebastian Telfair at number 3. Now I forgot who number 4 was. Shawn, you can look that up while I'm talking.
Probably VJ King.
VJ was top.
He was
definitely top 6, 7 for sure. But Michael Brown committed, and that's something we will talk about in depth after the break. But what I want to talk about now, though, is really quickly. Again, I don't do this a lot. Because it normally doesn't happen. But we went last week. We were on, and we went through our expectations, and I think that I went 9 and what?
Samuel Williamson is number 4.
Really? Okay. Well, that sounds bad. And VJ is what, 5?
Brian Bowen.
Oh yeah,
he don't count.
6. But VJ is definitely 6, right?
Brian Bowen never practiced.
Flowers.
Trenton Flowers.
Neither one of those guys count.
Well, then Sebastian don't count either.
I agree. If that's the case, we could
Who's after Trenton?
somewhat put LeBron up there because he would have went to Louisville if he went to college.
VJ is number 10. Right before VJ is Shane, and then
Wayne.
No, another person that didn't play was Amir Johnson.
Amir Johnson.
And get the heck out of here! I'm sorry.
Who was between?
Dennis Evans.
Oh yeah, he was. He was a 5-star
ranked player in that. that year, I believe.
So another guy that didn't play.
Wayne was right after VJ.
Okay. I knew he was right up there anyway. But I think I predicted 9 conference wins.
Both of us did.
We both.
Last 18.
Yeah, we both were right there. I think Wes said we were going undefeated.
No, he said 11-7.
How many total wins did you say we'd finished?
I said 13-5. Oh, I said 21. I believe 21.
Wes said 20, and then we said 18. I think.
Yeah, well, we got 9 now, right? And then 9 out of so yeah, we said 18 wins. So show of hands first. Whose expectations has not changed since last week? They have not changed?
No, I'm saying it's 21.
Because you gotta take EKU into consideration as much as you take the North Carolina game.
It's still going to be. I still think we could. Unfortunately, the thing that's going to hurt us is I still think we could lose to all the good teams we play, and that'd be our 5 losses in this next 18 or stretch of 17.
I'm just looking at the fatigue factor
As the season goes on.
Yeah, just the short roster, and it's nothing against anybody on the coaching staff, the players, anything like that. It's just, and I want to temper my expectations somewhat as well. Let's see. So we play Virginia tomorrow. Ask me again tomorrow evening. Maybe it's different, but.
Well, I had Virginia as a loss last week, and I no longer think we're going to lose.
Bennett factor.
I'm going from 9. I am going to adjust mine from 9 to. Sam's trying to watch Hulu while we're doing the show. I'm going to say we win 14 or 15 out of the last 18. That's how confident I am in the adjustments I've seen. Now, again, this can change weekly, daily, right? It's not set in stone. If we continue to play like we played against North Carolina, there is zero doubt in my mind, that in the game against Pitt, isn't it at Pitt?
We play them here.
Yeah, we play. They're one of our 2.
And we always dominate them at Pitt. Like we beat them by 55 one year at Pitt. So That's one of my losses. Pitt's definitely one of the 4 losses I've got. SMU's a possible maybe. But there's nobody else on that schedule that sticks out to me that we can't beat. So I'm for the first time ever, I'm skyrocketing my expectation. I say we only lose 4 down the stretch. So that's where I'm going to go with that. And again, tomorrow, if we beat Virginia handily tomorrow, that'll further my expectations in the pot. But I don't do that a lot. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to change our expectations. But for me, I felt so positive. Robert Skinner with the eye, y'all, he's got his setup going, or it's been a while since I've been able to tune in. It's been a while. Yeah. It's been a while because we've been on top for a minute. Jordan Gerard is not.
He's right. I checked. I don't know what I saw. I swear I saw something.
I did
today.
too.
Well,
I saw it earlier today.
Everybody saw it except for me. But
I didn't.
Garrett says this team just doesn't quit, and the coaching staff is making the proper adjustments. That's something we've not seen. Even Coach P. No, the only time he didn't make adjustments was at the end of halves.
No, he would make adjustments. He would take whoever was hitting hit 4 threes in a row, take them out of the game. You'd be like, "What are you doing, Coach?"
Garrett loves our coaches. Robert
I
says
love you.
he met Brian Cloman before the season started and exchanged contacts. The staff is amazing. Yes. Still Dre says Williamson at 4.
Oh, yeah, Shawn. It was Gervonta Davis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We just got Traore back for sure. Wes Keys, who just had his 75th birthday, says, I say all bets are off for the rest of the conference slate. Anything can happen. At least someone has confidence. Yeah. And that's, like I said,
ask me again after tomorrow's game. Here's the thing. Like, getting Traore back is going to be.
It's big.
It is big. Let's see how they play tomorrow. And again, the schedule, like you said, like you look at the schedule, nobody really stands out as scary, right?
Everybody.
I mean, I'm worried about Pittsburgh. I'm worried about SMU, but that's about it. There's one other team.
Clemson's the one that
Clemson.
That's a home though, I think. So that I like our chances better. If it was on the road, we haven't beaten them there. I don't think we've ever beaten them at Clemson.
At Clemson?
I think we beat them. Well, we did beat them. I heard one time, I think, but it wasn't in their home arena. It was being.
We got 16 games after conference games now, or
18, right?
No, 17, I believe.
17.
Yeah.
So we're 9-5 right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got 17 left. All right, I could say 22 wins.
I'm sticking with my 21 prediction right now.
Well, I'm going one over you because that's what I do.
Let's check this out first. How many times have we beat them at Virginia?
I don't know if we've ever beat them.
I don't remember.
At Virginia?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't think we ever have. The only time we haven't really beaten them except really
Wait,
one
hold
time.
on. No.
1990.
1990. God.
Is the only time we've beaten them at Virginia.
Oh.
We have beaten them at home 1, 2, 3, 4 times. We are
It's a math
thing.
Mango.
5-24 against Virginia all time.
Well, about to be 6 into it.
Mangok.
Man, what?
That was one of the only jump shots you ever hit.
And
Mango make basket.
And the other one that we were asking about was Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at Clemson is what you're asking, or what we were asking.
If it was at Clemson or home, I think it's at home.
9-6 versus Clemson.
Got a winning record.
We've lost our last 4 at Clemson, last 5 at Clemson. 6, we beat them in 1973. We beat them at Clemson.
Nobody here was alive.
That's the only time we've ever beat them at
Isn't it
Clemson.
Little John Coliseum or something?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
No way. I'm trying to not get copyright.
I'm gonna say it.
Yes.
We did do we did some things
Huh?
on the football side of the field that we didn't do in a while, well, or ever, in terms of beating Clemson, and then so I feel
Getting
like
the
that
monkey off her back with those losers.
up the street. So I think it carries over because I think most of it too, a lot of it probably was repetition and things that, well, we've never done this, and so it carried on with the players mentally. This is a whole new staff, whole new group of players. No one on this team has played them in a Louisville uniform before,
Right.
so they don't have, like you say, that monkey on their back. They don't have that at all. They're just gonna go in, hopefully execute the game plan.
Aiden McCool has.
But he hasn't played. He was there.
He may have clocked a minute at the end of one
Probably.
of the games.
Possibly.
By the way, Clemson is here. It is here. So
Okay, so we don't have to worry about Little John, Big John, Thick John, Saggy John, or any of them. So that's good to hear.
Peg leg John.
Peg Leg John. Again, we want to welcome you to the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wallman, here with Joe Wallman, Sam Baisden, Shawn, the Void Barber. No, you don't get two.
I snap my fingers and ones go to the sky.
Again, don't forget you can help support the show and our interest in being able to bring you a great podcast by sending us a little bit of love to Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We've got the YouTube subscriptions. We've got the YouTube gifts, GIFTS, and it helps us with cool things such as the new CSZ 3000 touchscreen multimedia player there. Sam's going to be, during football season and basketball season, we're going to be drawing up some plays or bringing some important videos or tweets and stuff from the world. You didn't need to see me twice.
We should play checkers while he talks. Almost sounded drunk there for that.
You did.
Played checkers.
But before we get to the second part, which is the best part, because we're going to be talking about maybe what will go down as one of the greatest U of L basketball players of all time. Shawn, the sensation that's sweeping the nation, your segment.
I need to sweep something else.
It needs to, it's not. Here we go.
Oh,
Sorry, wrong one.
That's the same thing.
Wait a minute.
That's
Sorry,
the same
wrong
thing.
button.
oops.
Got a rapid fire.
More like a forest fire.
No, it got cut off. At the,
No.
no. Sam said a brush fire. A bush fire.
Did you say Shawn was Velcro down there?
Oh God. Looking like a somebody from the set. Looking like Hall & Oates.
Without the hall?
There's a lot of oats.
Shawn's all
Y'all trying to kill me on this podcast.
Shawn is all oats.
Weird Al Yankovic over Yankovic.
Last but not least, before we get to the second half of the show, we do want to give a shout out to Spencer Legg, number 55 for the Louisville men's basketball team, and his site, spencerstand.com. No, that's not a site dedicated to Daniel Spencer. It is a site dedicated to Spencer Legg. He is a Division I athlete with type 1 diabetes, and that site is an informative site on how other athletes can, inspirational stories, stuff like that. It also is his NIL page. For $10, you can do a virtual hangout with them. For $50, you can go do a shoot around with him. It's 2 hours long. The virtual hangout's 1 hour long. But the most sought after one is option 3, which is also $50, but it's a 3-hour hangout with the entire basketball team, because you're going to a basketball game. You're going to hang out with them before the game, hang out after, premium seats during the game. Go to spencerstand.com for more information. check it out. Great dude. He, I don't know if y'all saw this, but he did call me his inspiration once, and I'm not making that one up.
I bet he would do this if I was around.
No, I'm going to tell him specifically not to. They're not paying attention to you. He's checking his Bumble. He's checking out how much longer until he gets wet. No, stop. Segment 3, we're going to talk about, you know what? Let's get the chat line cleared off first. Anthony Easton says, come on, guys. No confidence in the basketball team, getting rid of guys off the football team prematurely. I'm going to need y'all to get it together. Just joking. Louisville Cardinals says, I'm feeling really confident in this team. I feel like we're gelling at the right time and we're playing 9 deep. Pause. I agree. And Fabian says, what's up, fellas? What's up, Fabian? Let's talk a little bit about the biggest moment of the week. The under 8 timeout. And something that's not been done here ever, I don't think. So, but one of the coolest moments as a Louisville fan. Michael Brown came out to center court and committed to the Cardinals. He initially soft-verbaled back in November.
Yeah, actually.
September or October.
No, it was.
One of those months.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Yeah.
I was there for his visit. Like when him and his family walked off the bus, there was a group of Card fans there. And then myself, Steve Rummage, Ty, and Jay Spa were there. And man, it was such a great moment in time. If you weren't there, then shame on you. But just a great all-around kid. I mean, he went as far as I tagged everything we were going to talk about tonight in the show, and he retweeted and was like, yeah, everybody tune in. So if you tuned in because of Michael, I appreciate you. But Michael, he's a 6'3", 172-pound guard from Daytona Beach, Florida, where he plays for DME Academy. Consensus top 10 pick, ranked as high as 7th overall in the 247 composite rankings. Brown has had offers from just about every major program in the nation, including the likes of the Smurf Turds, Indiana, Kansas, Arizona, Alabama, Auburn, and Tennessee. He's ranked, correct me if I'm wrong, he's ranked as the number 1 shooting guard or number 1 point guard?
Point guard.
Number 1 point guard in the country. Second highest recruit in history, in between Samardo and Telfair, if that puts that into perspective for you all. I've already claimed credit for the commitment. Without me, that doesn't happen. Sam, I'm going to go to you. No, wait a minute. I went to Sam first. I went to Joey first. Shawn, I'm going to go to you first on this. Do we think this creates a domino effect? Like, because as you know, when a coach like Pat Kelsey, and he's a salesman, like he's a coach, but he is a salesman. Hey, Tyran, I got the number 1. Come hoop. Hey, Arenas got the number 1, and then got that. And I know at some point now, Arenas' dad has said NIL won't be a factor.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that would be an easy. Okay, we can factor him into the budget. Stokes will be the one that is sounding like he's wanting career high money. I mean, I think if he's worth it, you pay him. But do you think this starts a domino effect?
It will be interesting to see, because it had to be 2026. Because 2025, there's not that many uncommitted prospects. There's still Nathan Ament, Nate Ament, who I'll be curious to see him, because Louisville kind of fell out. Everybody's like it's going to be Duke or another school, but I'll be curious to see if this maybe has him look at us a second time, and maybe we can steal him here at the last second. But 2026, Tyron Stokes, though, there's talk that he might reclassify just to 2025, and I think this could push that, because it's an opportunity to play with the top point guard, and you are kind of a wing, and this point guard is a true point guard. He likes to pass.
And there's going to be opportunity to play right away.
Exactly. You're going to, I could see this being the first domino to really get this class propelled forward for 2025 and beyond.
Sam.
If he does reclass, I do see the potential for dominoes to fall in Louisville's favor, because like you say, you can now say, hey, I can pair you with the number one point guard and in my offense we've seen players like Hadley and of course Rain and multiple players get open for 3-point shots. We've seen that he's had the ability to have spacing on the floor to where if you don't have that shot, now you can drive or you can post up. However the mismatch is, we've seen Coach Kelsey be able to utilize those players to their strengths, depending on the mismatch. So, like I said, if he does reclassify, I do see it in Louisville's favor. But if he stays in the 2026 class, it might be a little bit different based on the transfer portal, who we get and things like that in the transfer portal, if that's what you were asking.
And Joe, you don't follow recruiting, so I wasn't even going to ask.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Joey says yes.
Mark it down.
Michael Brown tomorrow, 3:45 p.m. plays here in town at Fern Creek tonight. He had 25 points, 5 rebounds, and a smattering of other stats. Shawn, I thought that you'd like that.
Yep. It's a good word.
Yeah. I'll never use it again now.
We need you to smatter some stuff. Smatter chew.
Yeet. As it says right above Shawn's shoulder.
Uneffing believable.
Yeet. Yeet. Sam, women's basketball, big win over Miami yesterday. Higgy tried to tell me that they were 11-2. They are in fact not 11-2, but pretty rough start to the season. And I'm only going to ask you this because we do need to get to the rest of the show, because the rest of us can give yes or no answers. Have your expectations changed after seeing how we played yesterday after the rough start? Because Miami wasn't a pushover team. They're a top tier team.
No, they were 11-2 for a reason. They're real good at I want to say spacing. They utilize their players. They have great 3-point shooters. They have players that get to the line. They can hit their free throws. So, and they work off of those, especially with their cuts and things like that. So it was a big win. It showed the potential to what this Louisville team can be, especially when two things happen: when they play defense like Coach Waltz has been known to do, and when those shots start falling. So in terms of my expectations changing, no. The rough start was kind of frustrating, but we have multiple freshmen playing big minutes here. So as the season goes on, they not only become freshmen, they kind of become sophomores because they're playing so much. And you have the veteran leadership like Jada Curry, who are 21. You have Nyla Harris, and you still have Marissa Russell and Olivia Cochran. And then you have Jalea Williams from Miami, who had the stats kind of show it, but she had a phenomenal game. I think she had like 8 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, a block, things like that. So she's shown that she's capable of having games like that on a night in, night out basis. So no, my expectations have not changed for this team because, like I said, the senior leadership on this team, as well as the man on the sideline, Coach Waltz.
Mine have changed because I thought that we were in for a rough season. I thought after until Joey reminded me that our losses were to all ranked teams, I thought we were going to have a pretty rough season. John,
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask this differently to you. Do you feel like we win more going down the stretch than you may have thought last week?
Yes, and I think we're going to catch some because we still, I think, have a few ranked teams got to play later on. I think we're going to catch a couple of them. I think we're going to beat a couple ranked teams because I think this team will start to round into form. I think this is the first step in that.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I hate to do the whole expectations every week, but there are moments in time, sort of as this week with North Carolina and Miami, where they can make you a believer. Joey, for you?
Yeah. I mean, they're obviously starting to play to their potential. And as the season goes along, like Sam said, the freshmen become sophomores. You know, they've got that experience under their belt. Yes, we have some proven vets, like he said. So I definitely think they just had. So the men are hampered by like bodies. The women were hampered by youth.
Yeah.
So we're seeing with Traore coming back, you know, you're going to get another body coming off the bench. These ladies are starting to round into form. So, yeah.
That's why I try to tell people, have some patience, wait to see what the
Relax.
season does. That's Sam's line. Now we're going to get to all of our favorite part, other than Shawn's dating life, rapid fire, which is rapid fire. Okay. Number 8 women's S&D and number 10 men's S&D. Sweat, Missouri. Don't know the point total.
Swimming and diving?
Yeah, swimming and diving. The Louisville women's.
I'm sorry.
Unbelievable. The Louisville women's basketball team, which Iggy had at 11-2, and I had to fix that, returned home for the first time in nearly 3 weeks and did not miss a beat in its 74-56 win over Miami. 11-3, 1-2 in the ACC Thursday night at the KFC Yum Center. Louisville raced out to an early lead and did not look back as the Cardinals won their 3rd straight game and improved to 2-1 in ACC play. Jada Curry pays the Cardinals with a season best 21 points as she shot 6 for 12 from the field, 4 for 9 from 3, and a perfect 5 for 5 from the free throw line. Tiana Roberts scored all 14 points of her points in the first half. Go. She scored all 14 points of her points in the first half to go with 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals.
And just a side note on that,
Mm-hmm.
it was a point in time when Coach Walls called 3 players over. Roberts, I can't remember who the other 2 were. It was a guard, but they came down on the dead ball situation, and he literally called a play with just his 3 players. The other 2 had no idea what was going on.
Okay.
He called 3 players over, told them a play to run, just those 3 on one side of the floor,
And they did it.
and they executed perfect. He got a wide open jump shot for Roberts, and she hit the 3. But going back to what we were saying about the youth, later on when she was starting to get in the rhythm, she committed a silly foul that kind of put her in foul trouble and put her on the bench. And it's things like that as the season goes on. Like, yes, play defense, but you got to know when not to foul. So, like we said earlier, they're freshmen right now. Later on in the year, she won't make that mistake.
You got to know when to hold them.
Know when to fold it.
Former University of Louisville women's golf assistant coach Mary Bryan passed away Tuesday at the age of 78 after a 12-month battle with pancreatic cancer. Bryan was an assistant coach on Courtney Trimble's staff for 5 seasons from 2012 to 2017. She oversaw 2 regional appearances for the Cardinals in 2014 and 2017. The Cardinals also won the inaugural AAC championship during the 2013-2014 season. Thoughts and prayers go out to her family. Sandy Morris, the United States record holder in the women's pole vault and 2-time world champion, will join the U of L track and field coaching staff as a program volunteer for the 2025 season, as announced by the director of track and field and cross country, Joe Franklin. So not a very eventful rapid fire, but some good stuff there. Make sure you support our photographers out there. Keith Russell, Jeff Nunn, TJ Barr, Justin Kruger, bar none the best foursome. Shawn will explain that to you later too. In photography in the city. Go check out the North Carolina photo gallery right now. TJ and Keith shot that one as a combo, and I don't know how they do it, man. They make these pictures. They make ordinary pictures look extraordinary. If you've not checked it out, it's pinned at the top at cardinalsportszone.com. Make sure you all tune into our Sunday show at 1 p.m. in our regular time slot. We will not be having a show this Sunday because of the mega show tonight, but we'll be back in the regular swing of things next Sunday at 1 p.m. We shouldn't be competing too much with NFL because a majority of people's teams will already be eliminated by that point. I love the late night ones though, man. I don't know. We're gonna have to think about how we do it going forward because there's numbers in here. It's the next day. We started on started on Friday. It is Saturday, and we've still got a ton of people tuned in. So we appreciate y'all supporting us and watching. But we'll try to come up. Let us know in the chat. Would you all rather us continue to go Friday nights, or would you rather us go? So I guess the two options would be what? Friday night at 11:05 or Sundays at 1 p.m. In the chat, put your all's preference. We'll run some polls on Twitter. We'll do that stuff. Shawn needs something to do anyway. Stay tuned to our social media and subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook to be alerted anytime we go live, even though we prefer the YouTube. You can find the audio version of this podcast on over 125 different podcast avenues, including Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Buzzsprout, Spotify, TuneIn, Google, Amazon Music, and iHeart. Hit subscribe, like, heart, plus, or whatever it is Shawn does on the weekends. Stalk, I don't know, peer, I don't know. Just hit subscribe now, and that will download these episodes. If you don't watch them live, it'll download them to your phone or your PC. If you haven't listened to all the prior episodes of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, go back, check them out from the beginning. Go to cardinalsportszone.com, the place that I'll begin. Go to the podcast drop-down menu, select CSZ Podcast for our newer stuff these last 6 seasons. Or if you want to check out some of the early stuff with myself, Steve Rummage, Daryl Faust, the whole crew, you can check those out under the archives portion at cardinalsportszone.com. Check our exclusives out there as well. Shout out to everybody who's out there sharing the podcast. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Speaking of Steve Rummage, shout out to our guys Steve Rummage and Marcus Maben doing the Lord's work Monday through Friday from 10 to noon on ESPN 93.9 The Ville. And shout out to our friends Mark and Dan at the 502 Circle. Without them, we're not getting these high energy, highly touted recruits like Michael. We sure do appreciate them. We know they work because we all see Dan Furman's 752 promos a day. That's because he's wanting the brand out there and wanting to be. And trust me, you know it because you've got every 5 seconds you got to scroll and look at it or scroll by it. So they're doing a fantastic job. On social media, you can find me at Jeremy_CSZ. Sam, where can they find you on social media?
Baseboy124.
Peg. Joey.
Joe Wallman 526.
And Shawn, I'm going to try to stress this to you again. We do not want your Farmers Only username. We want your Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, not your e-hamster.
Dang, I was going to tell him Farmers Tent. Never mind. At Elville Shawn.
And what is your Instagram, Shawn, for all those lovely ladies out there that want to see some smooth pics of you?
It's Barb06.
That's Barb.
Yeah.
That's Barb06.
Yeah.
That's Barbara 06.
You really sound country right there.
You sound super country.
You did. That's Barber.
Couldn't help it.
Lee Newton says, what a difference a year makes. Positivity and excitement. Preach. D. Wall says, I think we're going to be a problem come ACC tournament time. Jason Baker likes the Friday night. Everybody's saying Friday. Gosh dang it. Look, we're never.
I'm already over here anyway.
That's true. So is Shawn. Sam's normally over in this. Look, let's just keep it a buck, right? Sam's in this area of town on Friday nights, whether he's got to take a 15-minute break to come over and do the show or whatever. So, all right, we'll. Gosh, are we gonna say Friday? I guess we're gonna do Fridays. Sam, last words. Not in life, but oh wait a minute, that's Shawn's. Never mind.
So you asked a question earlier, and I want to change my answer.
Okay.
About Stokes or Arenas, things like that.
The domino effect.
Yes.
I thought you were going to change your opinion on Pagan.
I don't have an opinion on that.
Oh, okay.
You don't?
No.
I have an opinion on it. Not happening to me.
To each his own. That's
Oh,
what
God.
is my opinion. But back to, I think regardless,
No, sirree, Bob.
if he stays in the 26 class or if he comes and reclass in the 25 class, I think the opportunity to play with PG1 with a point guard who can make life easier for you, that can get you open shots, that can make big shots. So I think whether he stays or goes, whatever stays or comes into the new class, it would be a great situation for him and Arenas to walk into, because they're both scorers. So, and if you could play with someone that can get you the ball in the wide open spot on time and on the money, why not? And especially with a player friendly offense like Coach Kelsey, I think we can get both of them.
And James Scott's going to get better, so you're going to have an option down low there. Shawn's probably going to be back.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, with all the eligibility stuff, there's no telling who all will be back. Premium subscriber Robert Holt says we're winning at Virginia. Mark it down. And our guy, Daniel Spencer, which we referenced earlier, said go Cards and TNA. Shawn will explain that to you later. With that part.
But in terms of the let's go ahead and continue on with the great 2025 so far. Continue to go ahead and support the men's team and support the women's team as well, because they can make, both of them can make runs in March and hopefully April.
All right, Shawn, your last words on the podcast tonight.
It's Merkin season.
Okay, he's ready to mark Virginia.
It's Merkin season in John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Reason 8,476,000 that Shawn still has. He longs for companionship in his pants is because he knew the name of their arena.
Like I know 5 arenas.
I know that one because never won there.
I know Gilbert Arenas. Does that count?
No, I know Smurf Turds, ours, Indiana's, Duke's,
North Carolina. Dean Smith.
The Dean Dome.
Oh, the Dean Dome. Okay, so
what's Duke's?
Cameron.
Syracuse plays at the Carrier Dome,
yeah,
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's
Diddle
Arena.
Arena.
Yeah, Diddle.
Diddle.
We need you to become a hill topper.
Oh my God.
All right, Joey, your last words.
I don't really have anything.
Well, this has got to be. Remember, we're not doing Sunday shows,
Maryland's
so
trash.
control the pet population.
Well, Shawn does that by keeping his chastity belt on.
Voluntarily or involuntarily.
Sirius XM, seriously, y'all need to hit us up. This would be money,
Right, because I have things that I could say, but
But
I can't. Need the Steelers win tomorrow night. Unfortunately, need the Ravens to lose so we can take that division. But yeah, Maryland's trash and Baltimore's in Maryland, so
yeah.
they can go fly themselves.
Okay.
not fun.
Oh, and everybody be careful Sunday and Monday. We're gonna have some slippery roads.
Hopefully, you didn't get ran over at the store today. I went.
I did a click list pickup yesterday.
Well, I did a click list pickup today because I'm not. Teresa was like, "Will you go pick these groceries?" I was like, "I'm not shopping for us." No, she's like, "No, I'll have to where you can pick it up." Now, every time I go to this Walmart by our house, there's 30 spots, and only 2 of them are ever got a car in them.
All 30.
All 30 were full, and I had to drive around a little bit. And I watched 5 or 6 people that I don't want to say, I don't want to describe them, but they parked their cars there and walked into Walmart to shop themselves. I don't know if they couldn't read the signs. I don't know what the case may be, but it was definitely an experience there. Listen, I have got back to the point to where I feel strong enough to do some working out. So I've started working out again this week. So I will not bore you all on Twitter or Facebook with those posts. I will bore you on Facebook or Instagram though. So if you want to follow me on Instagram and follow that journey, it's at Jeremy_CSZ. If you don't, that's fine. Last thing I want to talk about tonight, February the 1st, Indianapolis, Indiana, the Royal Rumble. I didn't know Lucy was in here. Who are you snapping at?
My congregation.
Oh, okay. We'll put them down. Royal Rumble in Indianapolis. Now, listen, the last time we went, this will be our third Royal Rumble. The last time we went to the Royal Rumble, we got somebody here at the table a ticket, but he hoarded us out and no-showed us.
Mm-hmm.
So this year we didn't get him a ticket. This year we didn't get him a ticket.
Oh, y'all talking about me?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're the only person that didn't go to St. Louis for the Rumble when everybody at the table had a
You
ticket.
could have met Ric Flair and Eric Bischoff. Loser.
Not only that, I was generous enough to buy everybody's Royal Rumble tickets, and Sam just left me on red.
At the time,
And he didn't even. Here's the thing about it.
I didn't even have it. At the time, I was living with a young lady who was very, very
Infectious.
no concerned about my well-being and thought that I had COVID and made me take a test. White women are something else. But it came back that it was negative, and I did not speak to her the entire weekend. I didn't even have coitus that week. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you can say coitus.
Yeah, you can say that. Sean, we'll explain to you what
can
that
say
is.
that, Sheldon.
My thing is he didn't even hit me up and be like, "Man, I'm so sorry I didn't go." Here's like 30. I mean, I wouldn't have accepted it, but he could at least been like, "Here, how much was the ticket? Oh, it was $150. Oh, here's
I did not.
Here's like $20-$30. I know it's not $150, but listen, that's one thing. If
we was in the suite too.
we were in the suite,
Hey, it sucks, bro.
do you remember here was the two, and we'll get off here.
Most expensive chicken tenders ever.
Oh my God.
The menu was off the chain, first off, and secondly, we got in there, we all sat down. It was an awesome experience. Like if you missed it, then you probably, like things in places most people don't like things. But
Pagan.
when we went into, we opened the refrigerator. We're talking about you again. Opened up the refrigerator, and there was expired Diet Dr. Peppers in there.
Sure was.
And I'm like, the bill ended up being what, like $300-$400 for food and drinks.
Yeah.
It was all crusty and dusty and rusty too. But we're not getting the suite this time. This is the first time I'm going to be actually out sitting. My health's gotten a little bit better, so I'm trying to trust myself with getting back to normalcy. It's a little bit cheaper that way. You don't have to pay for the suite. But plus, I wasn't paying $10,000 for a suite in Indianapolis.
Nope.
I did contact them about the suite because I was like, no, I got to go anyway. But it's going to be a good time. Maybe the next time we go to the Royal Rumble, we can ease Sam back into it. I don't know. It just depends on how things
I mean, he could try to swing him a Mania ticket and fly out to Vegas in April.
Yeah, I mean,
did you figure out if you were going yet?
I don't know what that means, but I think he said Texas.
Yeah, it sounds like a no. That's what it sounds like. Because I thought the
man
plan
already had it lined up.
Yeah,
bro.
that's what I was saying. I know it was a plan.
Listen, you don't
We're
even have to
talking
go to
about
WrestleMania. Just fly out there and we'll have a great time that weekend.
I guess I'll have to take your spot.
Take one for the team.
Take one for me.
Pryor, Johnson, Rogers, Khalifa, all back. Absolutely. Daniel Spencer says U of L will win the 2025 national championship. Pregnancy test. That's funny. AO Sam, West Keys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Joey's gonna have everybody thinking that I had actually like that.
Well, Joey didn't say it.
No, he keeps saying.
No, he's the one who said it.
Look, stop the door. I mean, STD. I wasn't talking about anything of the sort. Listen, this is getting out of hand, getting out of control.
I'm just waiting for Sam to be like, ain't no party like a Diddy party.
Okay, most likely here at the table to have been at a Diddy party. Raise your hand if you think it's Joey. Raise your hand if you think it's Shawn. Raise your hand if you think it's me. Raise your hand if you think it's Sam.
Dang, Shawn. Damn.
Is it because I'm black?
No, whoa, hey.
No, it's because you.
That's all for this week.
It's because you sit in the passenger seat.
Instead of drive.
In the best friends ride, not trying to get no. Listen, I hope that didn't copyright us. Look, again, we appreciate all y'all tuning in, and we really need to get the Sirius XM thing going because I think we have a lot of fun with you all too. I mean, still for this time of night, record numbers pouring in. We really do appreciate it. We hope you guys enjoy this week. I'm once again, I'm Jeremy Wallman. This is Joey Wallman, Sam Bazin, Shawn Barber. Thanks again for the love and support. We appreciate y'all. Until next time, throw those L's up. This has been the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast. Oh, wrong thing. Yeah,